Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe Football Show, and it's time for another Leeds United transfer update. It's the 6th of December now, so of course, all the news is starting to filter out about potential incomings and outgoings. Of course, as closer we get to January, the more and more prevalent these will become. So, listen, you know where your one-stop shop for all your Leeds United news is. Of course, it's the Just Joe Football Show. It's the best out there, if I do say so myself. Anyway, before we get into it, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the other side.
I don't care.
Kane, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the Championship. The takeover happened, as I said it would. People will be... Oh, when have we got Leeds? So first and foremost, we're going to be talking about Charlie Cresswell. You've heard me say now on a number of occasions, I almost feel bad for this lad. He had a great loan last season out at Millwall, a tough place to go, a tough place to play, and he rose to the occasion. He had peaks and troughs and came through that and gained valuable experience for that. Obviously did well in the summer with the England under-21s as well. So naturally, there have been a lot of clubs after his signature. Now, what Leeds United did is sign him on a new long-term deal. Of course, right thing to do. But I believed, and I think a lot of you believe, that this guy would have seen a lot of game time. As it turns out, he's barely played at all. He's actually only featured 4 times for Leeds United this season. Only 1 start during that time as well, amassing just 130 minutes of football this season. Now, comparatively, last season at Millwall, he got 2,260 minutes. So you can tell there's a massive disparity between the minutes played. Now, naturally, of course, Leeds United are fighting for promotion. We're a better side than Millwall. We have bigger aspirations than Millwall. But it's got to the point where he's not even getting in the matchday squad. And when we do have issues at right centre-back, instead of using him, what we're doing is saying, OK, Strout, you go on the right, and we'll bring Cooper on at left centre-back. That, for me, isn't ideal. I'd sooner see Strout keep his place and have Cresswell play at right centre-back. But there's clearly something amiss, whether he's not putting it in training, which I highly doubt, because Cresswell's not that type of guy, or whether Farke just doesn't fancy his on-ball ability. Maybe it's that. Now, the reason we're talking about Charlie is because there's a lot of noise now in the northeast and across Teesside that Middlesbrough may try and loan him in January, or indeed maybe even go for a permanent transfer. They've got many issues at centre-back. Obviously, we played him at the weekend and Paddy McNair had to go off, if you remember, and Clark came on and gave a penalty straight away. And there's also issues with Tommy Smith and Dara Lenihan. So that means they need a body there. Now, Cresswell's a perfect option for them. We clearly have a good relationship, having let them loan Sam Greenwood. So they're probably looking at that and saying, do you know what? Charlie would be a great addition. And in my opinion, he would, of course. For me, he's perfect for a championship side. Do I say he should be starting over Road on? No. Do I want him to go on loan? No. I'd like to see him get more minutes. I'd like to see Farke use the squad. I've said this on a number of occasions. But the facts are, folks, it looks like he ain't going to get minutes. And as for Charlie, he'll want that. He needs that. He's had a regular taste of men's football now. As I said, he played 28 times for Millwall last season in the Championship. So if Middlesbrough come a knocking, then of course he's going to jump at the chance. Now, it remains to be seen whether or not Leeds United will sanction that. I would argue they might not. It would mean we would then have to go out and get another addition at centre-back, and I would argue we could do with another left-sided centre-back because Cooper's definitely waning for me. But if we're being honest, that's not going to be top priority. And although I do think Leeds United will be busy in January, it'll only be a few key positions. What they won't want to do is lose Cresswell and then have to go get a right-sided centre-back. So they would have to replace him. It's the same when I talk about Anthony and Nonto. If these are allowed to leave, there's a lot of noise from Leeds fans. Yeah, let Nonto go, etc. We then have to replace him. So ideally for me, no one exits, especially not before we have incomings. So for example, if we bring in a left back, okay, I'm happy with Junior to go. If we bring in a second striker, okay, I'm happy with Bamford to go. But until that point, let's not lose any players. And that includes Charlie Cresswell. The compassionate side of me says, yeah, Charlie, you deserve to go and get football. Charlie could have left this football club on a number of occasions. He was coveted from a very young age and decided to stay put. But the savage side of me says, unfortunately, mate, you've got to like it or lump it and stay put because we need you just in case. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which side do you go with? Head, heart? Do you think Charlie should be given alone, or even give him more minutes, more sparing minutes, bringing on a sub, being in the squad at least. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments, folks. Now, another story that seems to be doing the rounds is about centre midfielder for Fortuna Dusseldorf, Ao Tanaka. If you remember, Leeds United were heavily linked with Ao Tanaka during the summer. If I remember rightly, he was left out of training at one point, and a lot of Leeds fans were really excited about the potential of bringing this guy in. This was before Kamara. And they do play similarly in a similar position. We do have Gruyev, who can deputise for Ampadu, and you could argue Gray could deputise for Kamara, and that may be his long-term position and long-term place in the squad. But at the minute, he's playing right back. Now, Farke may see him as first choice or cover for Spence. So I'd actually be on board with having a look at Ao Tanaka again, because he can play in centre midfield, and it is a position on the pitch that Leeds United do lack a lot of bodies for me. And I have to come back to it. Farke, for me, isn't using the squad as much as I would like him to. Again, I'm not the manager. He knows best. He's been there, seen there, done it. Worn and won the T-shirt, if we're being honest, on 2 occasions. But Leeds United clearly did hold a big interest in Ao Tanaka. And look, Fortuna Dusseldorf have actually come out and said, look, we're aware he has wanted to leave now for a long time. And have also confirmed in the summer he came very close to doing that, and Leeds were one of them clubs that were interested. Now, he hasn't been amazing this season for Dusseldorf, and he's been in and out of the side, but when he's had good games, he's had really good games and really put himself in the shop window. Do we need him to hit the ground running? I would argue no. We have a great midfield in Ampadu and Kamara, but do we need bodies? Yes. And look, it seems to have been agreed by both parties. If a club comes in with an offer for him, then Fortuna will not stand in his way. Now, he predominantly plays as a 6 or an 8, if you like. But one thing that's key to his game, bearing in mind he has only started 9 this season, he's actually got 4 goals. Now, that is an area of the pitch for me that we're really lacking. We get goals from defence. You know, Byram, Ayling has at times, even Cooper. We've seen goals in the forward line, but not really much from the midfield. And I know that's due to the position that they play, and of course Ampadu is deep lying, etc. But there has been moments where they have been on the edge of the box, and whether or not it's a confidence thing or just a skill disadvantage, they've not been able to find the target and hit the back of the net. Whereas someone like Ao Tanaka, if you're going to use him as a sub, might have the capabilities to be able to do that. And look, his current market value is around about €2 million. According to reports, Fortuna Dusseldorf would be willing to discuss €3 million, which is basically a snip, especially for a club like Leeds United. Now, of course, the noises from the club are, we want to look at loans. But if you can pick up a player like this for as cheap as is available, then it's a no-brainer. But as Farke always says, we're always looking at short-term, mid-term, long-term. He could have a short-term impact. But then what happens if we do get promoted? So there's all these factors that you have to consider. And it may well be, yes, Leeds United did hold a strong interest in Ao Tanaka. We're aware of that fact. But he may be looking for a move in January, and they're just using Leeds as leverage to say, look, this player is available at a cheap price. Look, talks definitely happened in the summer. It was a player Leeds United was interested in, but ultimately we decided not to push the button. Could that have changed for January? Who knows? We will have to wait and see. Just to finish up, folks, as well, there's been more noise about Trey Hume at Sunderland for around about 10 million. It's a non-mover for me. He can play right, he can play left, but he's predominantly a right back. Sunderland aren't going to let him go for cheap. They don't need to. They've got players like Jack Clark they can sell. And the one position we're really stacked outside of the wingers is right back now, which is crazy. You know, we've got Luke Ayling, we've got Jed Spence, Archie Gray, and Jamie Shackleton. Makes no sense whatsoever for Leeds United to shell out as much as 10 million for Trey Hume. Now, of course, if we got promoted and we don't want to make Jed permanent and you see Archie Gray as more of a midfielder, or even you need extra bodies there, then of course you sign Trey Hume or at least look at him. But right now, it makes no sense to me. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's the roundup of all the latest news. Get notifications on because your boy will go live at the drop of a hat. You know that. But thanks as always for watching. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Get your comments in. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds.